a breakthrough can happen through communications. There has to be made a righteous connection. Then also there's the interest factor, right? And now I want to talk about the language again. It keeps coming up because it's already fashioned in our language. We have to figure out, like, what do you mean? And then start playing that game. What game, Shauna? Well, you're in a financial institution here, and there's mastery going on right in front of your face and under your nose. As we speak, really underground information, what is using mankind, really what I would like to say more specifically is what is using men, the way that they maintain this energy through the monetary system, through that club, you see, that is, they call it the central banking, but by far is it centered on anything. It's centered in Satanism. And so that means that that's essential. Those people aren't disciplined. All they have to do is, if it's a yes, say no. In fact, deny anything exists at all. And then keep up with your primitive or the primitive way of getting energy from the potential of becoming human. See, they pick on children. See, this is what I didn't know I would be talking about, but it needs to be talked about. You see, I don't like hearing about what is actually going on. But, if you're exposed to an aspect of it in your microcosm, then, like I said, through communications, there's a possibility to make a breakthrough, but only if you've had an experience and you're highly observant, you're paying attention, and are you interested in anything here? Some people have an interest, basically, is like, well, what's going on here? And then that could be like centralized on a marble or expanded into what's happening in this realm? What is it all about? Are there aliens, kind of a thing? Is there life after death? Stuff like that, right? Now that's very Scorpionic stuff, and I was talking about where we are with the season of Scorpio, and it seems to have just amplified because of the Pluto-ruled planets. Now we have Pluto. See, humanity is going through kind of a permanent Halloween time where we're going to find out about our friends. And is that really your friend under that mask? And what is it so hard to deal with about that particular friend? Are they a witch? Or is it just the truth about something that you don't understand quite yet? Which side of the wire are you on? Because there's the truth that evil harbors. Of course, it's the truth about evil, and then there's the truth that God harbors, which of course is the truth about God. Talk about the kids, leave it up to the kids to be a sounding board as to what is worthwhile here. And that's a no-brainer. You go by how you feel, and then if you see this happening in a smile, bingo, you did something right. See, the nervous system is set up this way, though. If you're well on your way to becoming human, being fully advanced as the organism is here that has that curriculum to enter into, that's what this particular plane is. And having talked to some people about, well, see, have you heard of the split? And then I come up with, and I found out, no, it's not split the seas, babes. Moses didn't split a literal ocean. No, forever and a day, as long as we have, especially, I was going to dare say overpopulation, but let's just say a whole bunch of people, okay? There's going to be the splitting of the seas, which there's people that see with two eyes only, and then there's people that are going to wake up and they're going to have a strange experience, and they're going to see. One of the perks is that you cannot lie to these people. You're chosen because you have opened your heart to compassion for all in the world, and you really wanted to solve some problems. Well, you're gifted if you have that in you, if you want to know that, what you call the Kundalini. Now, if you really want to experience something like that, keep going with what you're doing. You're getting away from toxic people that are as good as, it's worse than any of the poisons out there. You can handle a lot, but when you get around the people that aren't meant for you, I'm here to fucking just boil it down to two crystals. See, there's people that are capable of being a friend. See, you're experiencing a world around you where there's people living in bondage, and they wear a mask, and they're doing the virtue signaling, I guess is what it's called. Well, it's just a big bunch of paranoia that is paranoia is what drives them to fit in. And if you're on your way to becoming, then you're listening to my words, and you're like, gee, many Christ, this is, it starts to resonate that, did you experience that when maybe you felt like maybe it's better to fit in because it's safer? Well, that's boring, let me tell you right now. I'm in Aries rising, and we don't care for safety like that. Your movies are made of people who are daredevils, and especially your hero movies. And if you want to talk about Aries, we talk about it a lot right now because we have, all of us is experiencing a reset within our bodies. The Saturn Neptune conjunction, I mean, this is an epic thing for us all. And maybe if you've heard that, maybe you felt it. How about you? Do you see massive changes? It's not just that Uranus has been over your moon and you're going through a complete domestic overhaul. See, if you're interested in me doing your chart, I guess I can say I have a deal going on for $25. And see, I haven't been able to help anybody because of the attack that I'm under, and that's their goal, is to render us all totally useless to each other, especially especially days when you're coming awake into your purpose. Oh, you're going to experience it the most. You're going to get used to it. At your Aries in you is going to say, bring it on. You're going to have the boxing gloves up, and you're just, it reminds me of your equilibrium inside. See, now the word Libra is it's kind of there, right? Equilibria, Librium. See, Aries, the opposite is Libra, and it's a very peculiar setup there because they're suggesting, as well as a lot of other stuff, but they're saying that there was a polar shift. Libra used to be the first sign of the zodiac. Pardon me while I get the door. I can totally always just edit this. Did I? If not, hit like and subscribe. It's not ever going to leave me that I'm going to keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing here. Boy, did I lose my spot. I heard a cat scratching, I think, and I thought I'll let it in, but anyway, no, I'll get back onto it soon here. It's called channeling. That's what I'm doing. And apparently, see, with Mercury going over my ascendant at 6 degrees, it trines my ascendant, which is at 6 degrees, and I have a grand trine in fire. And getting back on the subject matter of the Uranus Neptune, the reset of the fire in us, which is the human spirit. Your Aries, wherever you have it in your chart, I could find out for you if you give me your birth date and the time of day that you were born and where you were born. What's about to happen for humanity includes that part of the organism becoming a hero, fame to these people who dare. Some people are just prominent Aries. If they don't have that will, if they're not an Aries rising, I would say, but then you have to look at the Mars and stuff. And see, with me, it's just, I'm chosen here. It's not fun. It's not easy. No. But it's the most blissful life, though. See, it's more like that it's discipline and it's blissful. It's not easy, and it's not peaches and cream either. It's more like spicy and sweet and sour. It's like, what do you want? So that's what I was talking about you want safety or do you want to live? Come on, that's really how the balance beam goes. And I was talking about the polarity between Aries and Libra. See, Aries is Mars, and we're supposed to believe that Aries rules the entire chart setup, but see, they're suggesting that there was a polar switch at one point, and it used to be Libra, which is Venus ruled, that rules the world, and And it does. Venus is Libra is Venus ruled, and so you have the I balance or I love. Don't you think that you have to get that down first of all? Like really, it's the selflessness that we are when we're born. See, that first house represents our birth, the very first entrance, and that's why Aries is easily filling that spot. But I can see how it's like, well, no, it doesn't start out at the physical. It starts out with love, and then the human physical birth comes out of that frequency, we hope, right? It doesn't just pop up as a physical. See, that's where I know that no, it's possible that there was a polar shift. It could be obvious, and it's to learn love. First off, learn learn the universe, learn God, know God. That's what that is. You know, when I say love, I'm not talking about the shallow stuff that happens between two people. That it's a massive misunderstanding. Actually, an achieved human being knows. They'll tell you. You know, it's like okay, and they're going to be patient because if they are achieved, in fact, they have become love. And every single body that makes contact that bothers to turn their attention to them, if that person who's achieved glances at them, it's dooms. They will fall in love. It's guaranteed that they will fall in love with that person who is achieved as love, but that person who is achieved as love knows what's happening. This is the master now. This is Buddhism, a phenomena of becoming human that is well known for 6,000 years. And yeah, Thich Nhat Hanh, he was a master Buddha, died in 2022, who said he likes hearing that Christians love Buddhism because the Christian would say it makes them a better Christian, simply because they learn how to talk about something. It's just a conversation between one who, now you want to talk about Christ? It's the same thing as becoming human. Christ aware. It's a phenomena that is, like Christ said, Jesus, if you read her pamphlet, just a few pages there, this too can happen for you. You know, first of all, you have to get away from all minds that influence you into a non-existential place, which is the mind. See, the mind has a tendency to want to be more real. That's its main desire. It has a desire. It's strong, especially if you leave it unattended to. You know, that's what there's where you're being mindful. But see, what you're doing is that when you see the mind, you're choosing reality, and that's outer space. And pretty soon the mind isn't such a big deal anymore. You don't have to uphold all of that memory. And talking to narcissists, and see, that's what their problem is that they stay negatively in a memory, in the negative, most traumatic thing, because, well, it's trauma. And see, I'm discovering how to penetrate through it. But see, I'm here to tell you also, as an Aries, it's like if you're not causing your own trauma, you're not living right. Right? If you're not taking it by the horns and saying no, and I think that that's a comfort zone that will cause us damages better than keep us strong and stuff like that. You gotta thank your fucking Aries friend for, first of all, taking you on such the adventure that makes you feel like that they've taken the reins off of you. And what is it? No, just keep looking at these people. See, I know myself as the Aries rising. I know that some sun in Aries aren't as flamboyant, I guess you would say, as me. I have all my best friends are Aries, though. See, they back me up. They say, oh, hey, see, your rising sign is your real sign. That's the time of day you were born, the very minute. If you're lucky, your mom remembers. No, it's actually whoever was around. If there was a midwife, and you have a birth certificate? Maybe. I don't know. I met somebody from Turkey who she didn't know what day she was born or what year. She says, well, my mom, she described the season, and that person was very interesting. You're in an interesting place here, planet Earth, but I don't know about you, but see where I'm at, there isn't a single real life human being. There are reptilians, there is parasitical spiritual possession where these people look human, but they're set up in a different way. If you talk to them long enough, they'll tell you, no, I only see in black and white. And they look you up and down, they scan you, and they can easily become envious, but you're outnumbered here, and they don't care. See, their enemy is the truth that will set them free, but it destroys the fake, the unnatural part of them, which is not human yet. It's just the reptilian mind. Yeah, the system has it to where that it's just food. It's just food you're after all. But where do you grow your own food? Do you know anybody in your local area? Are you guys at all looking at each other and saying, wow, this is a great zucchini. Here's my apple pie from my trees. No, you're not doing that? Very dangerous situation we're in right now. Very dangerous. I hope you know why that there are people living in the mountains. What Runa, well, not minute 18, and I'm really getting into. I just lost how many people, but I don't care. You're not meant for this. Look, there's my cat. I'm meant for the collective who is humane. Now, we are all struggling with being inserted with heavy metals and stuff, and the nanoparticulate matter thing. But the solution is to become the frequency of love. Now, I would like to talk about the virgin, you guys. You guys don't know what the virgin means. No, it doesn't mean a boy or a girl that has never had sex before. Although we're talking about an original design that is available there, something that is unfucked with. You know about virgin olive oil, right? Virgin oils. It means the original design that God made it as, like virgin water, virgin territory is what the Indians used to say. People would call it that because what is it? What is it? It's just untouched land. It's unfucked with, and everybody has the capacity to go back to the virgin by purging out toxins and stuff, things that aren't natural, and that includes the way that your mind is doing information. See, it's not well known what I'm talking about, and it's not well known that I'm a master, but give it another 10 years, and if I can keep on refining my subject matter, which I don't know how good of a counselor you can be psychologically if you don't know astrology, because astrology can make you see what you're dealing with. I mean, the full spectrum. You can see their mother and your dad and the siblings and the job and everything, and then you can start with like, okay, so how does this person as a Buddhist? See, I don't see how you can be a good counselor without being a Buddhist, because that's the conversation that you need to have. In fact, that's an ages-old practice, and in fact, I think that that's where it comes from. And the West is so jumbled up with the way that they use all of these offerings, that it comes from all of the colors here. White, red, yellow, brown, blue, black. That's what we have as the races, but nobody's racing here, okay? It's actually a race to become human, or you will be erased. How do you think we avoid being erased? Communicate. First of all, you don't even have a relationship with anything. And there isn't any intelligence, babe. What do you think we're gonna do? Just seal our lips up with some fucking duct tape? Well, that's what the narcissist wants to, but that's not a human being there. See, that's just something that wants energy and likes to see you squirm. And it's that basic. It's really that basic. It's like, wait a minute, this is not even caring that I'm an intelligence here. And maybe there is an outer space. Like, what if we do evolve and say, okay, now we have belonging here? What if we can have a sense of that there's enough, and now we're just celebrating and having something called a good time. Let's keep having a conversation. What do you think it's going to take?